All right, so thanks for coming. And tonight we're gonna just talk about Running Start and what it is as a program and how to apply and get eligible and hopefully answer all your questions. So Running Start is a program for high school juniors and seniors, and it was originally designed to really challenge motivated students so that they could be at that college level coursework while they're still in high school and earn college credit. And it was also designed to save families money. So the money comes from the state through the high school to the college. So you're getting two kinds of credit for one round of money. So that's how it's saving the state money as well. And our numbers have just been going up and up and up. We've now over 700 students this year with 19 high schools all around the valley and some online schools as well. The college credits that you're earning are transferable. They will transfer to all Washington public colleges and universities, to most of the private colleges and universities in the state, and also most out-of-state colleges and universities. If you're looking at like a Stanford level of out-of-state private school, you will want to double check with them on how they accept the college credits that you're earning while you're in high school. And it's not because you earn them at a community college, it's because you earn them while you were in high school. So they kind of don't want you doing that. They'd rather have you at the 4-year for more time. So they should transfer to most places. And if you are going to an out-of-state private school, you will want to check into that. You can also take courses that aren't offered at your high school. We have a lot of different subjects and departments that you can take classes in that maybe just your high schools aren't able to offer, anthropology or sociology or, physics and the higher chemistries. And you're experiencing that college atmosphere. You're going to be in classes with folks your parents' age or your grandparents' age and other recent high school grads. So that our age range is big, our diversity is big. We have international students on campus. So it's a true college atmosphere, which a lot of students enjoy more than the high school. And Running Start is one of the dual credit options in Washington State. Your high school might have college in the high school courses, which are similar to Running Start in that you're earning college credit and high school credit with the same class, but you're staying on the high school campus and it's taught by a high school instructor that's been approved by the 4-year school. So it's still a college level class, you're still doing the work, but you're staying at the high school. In the Running Start program, you're on the college campus, or this year you're online with the college students. You might have advanced placement available at your high school, and the tech prep CTE classes is another way you can earn college credit while you're in high school. And all the studies show that if students earn, it's only like 9 or 10 college credits while they're in high school, they are more likely to graduate with a bachelor's degree, more likely to continue on and complete those higher degrees. So it's really a benefit just to get yourself a good start. These are some of the reasons you might want to do Running Start. Personal interest, if you're just interested in our music program or drama program or some of the art classes we have, a lot of students are just doing those. You can work toward your transfer degree. The Associate of Arts or Associate of Science or Associate in Business are big ones. That's one option you have. It's not mandatory that you earn that AA degree. And if you want to do that, you're basically becoming a full-time college student. And so you probably won't have any classes at your high school, maybe one at a time, but you'll be full-time at the college if you are planning to do that in 2 years. You can prepare for your major. If you're looking into majors like engineering or pre-med majors, you're going to have a lot of math and science to get through. And so you can start working on those classes while you're still in high school. You can start your math sequences, your chemistry sequences, biology, get all those classes going because you'll have quite a few of them to work on for those kinds of majors. You can work on YVC's vocational certificates. We have a ton listed on our website, all kinds of different certificates and 2-year degrees that are meant to get you right out into the workforce. Or you can work on the prerequisites for other vocational programs like nursing, dental hygiene, or radiologic technology. All of those programs have about 2 years of prerequisite classes that you have to take before you even apply to the program. So you can do those classes while you're in Running Start. You can take the classes that you need for your high school. So if you need history and your English and maybe a civics class, you can take those at YVC and get those high school credits at the same time. And you can come full-time or part-time. If you're thinking of part-time, if you still want to have your foot in the high school a little bit with 1 or 2 classes, it's good to have your college classes in the morning and then be able to go back to the high school for your classes and other on-campus activities that you might be doing at your high school, like sports or drama or any other after-school stuff that you have. And there's our campus. And we have a lot of stuff going on campus, more when we're physically there. We have cultural events. You can join student government if you are into leadership. You can start a club. You can join any of the clubs that we have available. We have a fitness center on campus, and the Yakima campus, we have the Larson Gallery. They just moved over to our new area on the Taco Bell quadrant of campus. So that's all available for students to access. And you can go to the sporting events and cheer on the Yaks, but you cannot be part of the college athletic teams. But you can certainly go and cheer on your colleagues. And our sports are back this spring. So if you did want to get out of the house a little bit, I'm sure they'd love to have you. Most YVC classes are 5 credits. And a 5 college credit class equals 1 high school credit. For instance, English 101 is a 5 credit class. You'll take that class for 10 to 11 weeks, which is 1 quarter. And then that's going to earn you 1 high school credit. So that's a whole year of your high school English checked off in 1 quarter at college. Our classes are small. At the community college, our max class is 35 students. So if you take Psychology 100, at YVC, you're going to be a class of 35 students. You'll have an instructor who's been teaching and in the classroom for years. They're very experienced. If you take that same class at University of Washington in Seattle, you're going to be in an auditorium. There could be 800 students. You might have a teaching assistant teaching the class rather than a full professor. And you're just going to be a number in a bubble sheet, and you're not going to have that same relationship that you can build with an instructor in a small class like ours. You're going to learn the same material, but I don't think it's quite as good of an experience. Most of our classes meet 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. At our Grandview campus, they meet Monday through Thursday. Most of our classes are 50 minutes, so almost an hour, and in Grandview, they meet a little longer. And most of our classes are in the morning. In Yakima, our start times are 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 for most of our courses. We do have some afternoon classes. We will still have online classes, no matter how next year shakes out, but we've always had classes online. We have been fully online this year, but we'll still continue to have online classes when we go back to campus. So if you found that's working for you, that's great, because you can do college that way too. And most of our classes are 1 quarter long. So if you take English 101 in the fall quarter, you're going to choose an entirely different class for winter quarter. You can take another English class, or you can take a totally different class. You can take an art or a math or music or whatever you want to learn about the next quarter. We have a lot of support services on campus that are there to help you out. These are also available online while we're online. We have the tutoring center, the math center, writing center, the speech lab, and all of those have faculty and professional consultants that will meet with you and help you out with your classes, help you out with your essays and papers, help you out with your math homework. They're really there to answer any questions you have and help you successfully complete your courses. So make sure you're utilizing those. Even if you think you don't need it right away, it might be good to just pop in and see what they're about. So and get some feedback, especially the Writing Center. I always recommend that. You know, you've never turned in a college essay before, so you might think it's great, and it might be great, but it's always good to hear that from a professional and someone who knows our instructors really well and can let you know if you're meeting that instructor's expectations. You'll also have advising available. You'll have your high school counselors. You'll see them at least once a quarter for feedback and some paperwork. You'll have the college advisors. There are 3 of us on campus that work with Running Start students and advising. And then you'll also have access to the faculty advisors. So if you're that engineering student, you know, I can tell you, you're going to want to take math, you're going to want to take chemistry. And then after that, I'm going to send you on to our engineering advisor, and you can meet with him and he can say, okay, what kind of engineering do you want to do? These are the classes that would fit for that. Because there are a lot of different options for engineering, and we want to make sure that you're getting the right classes. So you always have access to the faculty advisors, especially if you're doing something more intricate like that. So these are some things to think about. There's a lot on this slide, but the biggest point I want to make is that once the students come to Running Start at YBC, we treat you as a college student. So you're expected to just be more responsible, because we do give you that independence. You know, if you have class, if your classes don't start till 9:30, your parents go off to work in the morning. It's up to you to get yourself up, get to class on time, be prepared for classes. If you need help, you need to reach out to your instructors or your advisors. If you have questions, you need to find someone to ask and get your answers. And so there's a lot more responsibility placed on the student than there is in a regular high school situation. And we also have some privacy laws. So for the parents out there, you're not able to call the instructors and say, hey, is my kid going to class? What's their grade? How are they doing? What can I help with? The instructors aren't legally allowed to talk with you about that. So we do ask that the parents reach out to us in Running Start first, and usually we can help you out and help you kind of navigate the system a little bit. We aren't able to tell you about grades and attendance, also because we don't know. A lot of our instructors don't take attendance. It's not recorded anywhere. You're not notified if your student doesn't come to class, because we figure they're adults now. We're treating them like adults. So, you know, if they have something that's getting in the way of them coming to class, then we trust that that's a good reason. And then they're still getting their work done on outside of time. The homework, 2 hours of study time per class per day. So you might only be in class for a couple hours, but you're going to have a lot more outside work outside of class. You might have to go to the library. You might have 5 chapters to read for your history class. And that's not really an exaggeration. There's a lot of work for the classes that you're going to be doing outside of class that you won't be doing in class. The in class might be just a lecture, or might be a seminar or a quiz or a paper or something. And then all that other work you need to be prepared to take care of outside of class. All right. Running Start pays for up to 15 college level credits for fall, winter, and spring quarters. So it's 15 credits per quarter. And the up to indicates that the more classes you take at your high school, the fewer credits Running Start will pay for. So if you're going part-time, it's kind of a balancing act. If you do more at your high school, it's fewer college credits. And the students are responsible for textbooks, which can run about $100 per class, and college fees, which are right now $13 per credit. And those shouldn't be going up next year, so that should still be the same. And that covers a lot of the campus services, like the writing in the math center and tutoring and things like that. And you're also responsible for transportation. So getting to and from the college campus is the student's responsibility. We do have the need-based fee waiver. That application is available on our website. So if you want to take a look at that, during the application process. If that might help you make up your mind to see if you'd be eligible for that, please do. Look it over with your parents because they might know a little more about your household finances. And so if you're eligible for that fee waiver, please apply. And what that does is it waives the college fees. So that $13 per credit, we no longer charge you. You would still be responsibility for transportation and textbooks. This is a quarterly comparison of the tuition and fees. So if you're doing Running Start and taking 15 credits, you have the $180 in those student fees. If you come to YBC after high school and take that same course load with tuition and fees, it's going to be $1,605. At Central up in Ellensburg, you're looking at the $2,600, and then the University of Washington in Seattle is $3,700, and that's for the same 3 classes. So you can see that it's still, while there are those fees, it's quite a bargain compared to the 4 years and even YBC with full tuition. All right. So to be eligible, you do need to be enrolled in a public high school. If we have any homeschool folks or private school folks out there, you can certainly still apply. And then once you're eligible, then we'll have you get enrolled in your local public school district. You don't have to attend any classes at the high school, but you just have to be on the books with the public school because that's how the money flows. You do need to be a high school junior or senior. So if you're a sophomore this year, that's perfect. You can apply now and get eligible now, and then you'll be ready to register in May for next fall when you're a junior. You do have to have a minimum 2.0 high school GPA. That's part of our English requirement, and it's just a good idea because if you're below that, you might be short high school credits, and we're not really like a credit retrieval program. If high school's not going that well for you, then it's usually better to kind of get that turned around first before you come and do college courses. And once you're eligible, that's going to continue until you graduate high school. So if you're a sophomore and you're kind of on the fence, you're not really decided yet, go ahead and apply, get eligible, and have that in your back pocket. And then you can decide, yes, I want to do it this year, or no, I don't want to do it. I want to go to the high school because we finally get to go and be in person and do stuff. So if you want to do that, great. And then you can say, hey, next year, next year about this time, coming up on your senior year, you can say, I do want to do Running Start now. You can just call and let us know. And then we'll have you come in the next year. So you can start any quarter. And once you're eligible, you can start anytime. You also have to have certain levels of course placement. So we have an English requirement that you have to place into English 101. You can do that a number of ways. Right now, it's really just these top 2. If you have a 3.2 high school GPA, an overall GPA, that will take care of your placement. Or if you don't, we'll have you do our English placement assessment. And that's just an online assessment that you'll take at home. And we'll get your placement from that. We also have used Smarter Balance and ACT or SAT, but since most folks haven't had the opportunity to take any of those tests this year, you probably won't have those. So 3.2 high school GPA, or you'll take our assessment. And for the math, most folks do need to take our math placement because you just haven't had the pre-calc level or the Smarter Balance or the ACT or SAT yet. So unless you've had some of the higher math already, you'll probably be taking our math placement. And you do need to place at math 85 or higher, and that's a beginning algebra level. And I'll wait on to say that. And all of these also work for regular YBC placement. So if you choose not to do Running Start and you come to YBC after high school, you can use all these for placement at that time as well. So how to apply? You're going to ask your high school counselor for a copy of your high school transcript. It does not need to be official. They can just email you one that'll be perfect because you're going to upload it into our online application. This is our webpage, and I'll put that in the chat when we're done. But we have an online application there that you'll just fill in the form. You'll upload your high school transcript. It is required to have that, and then submit that to us. Please use your email, the student's email. I know a lot of moms and dads fill out the application for folks, but we need the student's email, and preferably not your school email address. We have some problems getting through the security sometimes. So please use your personal email and make sure it's the student one. And then you're going to want to watch your email. You should get reply back probably within 2 to 3 days. Sometimes we end up in your junk or your spam, so check there as well. And if you don't hear back from us within probably 3 or 4 days, I would just email us at Running Start and say, hey, I applied, I didn't get my email yet. And we can resend it and make sure we can confirm we have the right email and also resend it. And once we get your application, we look over your high school transcript for any placement we can use from that. And then we'll send you, we'll email you the placement instructions. So again, most of folks are going to do the math at least, and some are going to do the math and the English. So you're going to read through those. They are assessments that you'll take online at home. And we ask that you do that within about 2 weeks of applying. And that way we know, that you were getting our messages and that that we're keeping up with you and keeping you on task on our schedule. And then after you're done, a really important part is you need to tell us that you finished. The test itself does not say, hey, all these people tested yesterday and here's their scores. That would be great, but it doesn't do that. So you need to say, hey, I finished my placements. What are my next steps? And you do not need to review or study for these assessments. And that's going to sound weird and you're going to want to cram your math, but you don't have to do that. Our tests are different than you're used to probably. And so the math, I think, is easiest to explain. The English is really similar, but the math, I think, makes more sense for folks. So it's going to ask you, what's the last math class you've taken? And if you're currently in a math class, go ahead and answer that math. So if you're in geometry, say geometry. If you're in algebra 2, say algebra 2. And then it's going to say, what grades are you getting in that? And then it's going to show you some worked out problems from start to finish, the whole thing. And it's going to ask you, do you think you could do this kind of problem today on your own? Would you need some review first? So you've done them and they look familiar, but you might just need a little help here and there. Or have you never seen that kind of problem before? So that's how it's going to see what you're familiar with and what you remember from your math classes. And that's how it's going to place you. And we've been doing this for about a year now. So it's been working out very well for our students. So don't panic and don't worry that you didn't do any actual math. You don't need a calculator. You won't need scratch paper. So just take your time. Give yourself like an hour if you're doing both of them in a quiet spot where you can just read the instructions and really understand and take your time. You don't get points for finishing early. So please read through everything and take your time on the assessments. All right. I'm always surprised by the ending, but here it is. This is our email, runningstart@ybcc.edu. And then this is our webpage, ybcc.edu/runningstart. Our application is there. Our fee waiver application is there and that information. And there's a ton of other information about Running Start, about how the credits transfer to four-year colleges, and a lot of other good information. So check those out. And I'll stop that. And